Well, our breaking news coverage continues tonight after that massive explosion and fires at a fireworks facility. Tonight, the families of 7 missing people still waiting for any word on their loved ones.
This is breaking news from CBS 13.
We're getting some even more video tonight from Esparto showing the moments that fireworks facility exploded, setting off fireworks, causing several fires. Frustrations felt today between family members of those missing and first responders.
You guys aren't focused well enough on the people in there. When there's families sick to their stomach, losing sleep, being able to eat, drink water because of you guys not responding how one should.
Well, here's new video from Drone 13 as well, showing the scene today. The images coming out of here have just been unbelievable. Fire officials saying they're working with the property owner now to determine where those people are as the surrounding area remains under an evacuation order. We do have team coverage for you tonight, as always, with your reporters in Esparto covering every angle of this story.
We start with your reporter Kayla Moeller live in Esparto near where this explosion happened. Kayla, you spoke with loved ones. You heard their frustration in that quick soundbite we played, and I'm imagining that's just growing by the hour.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And where I'm right now is just about as close as I can be to this facility, roughly a mile away. Law enforcement also staying back. The reason for that is because of the circumstances of this involving fireworks that could pop off at any moment. But loved ones, as you said, feel that law enforcement just aren't doing enough.
Focusing on, we were here since yesterday and have yet to receive any information.
The family members of 3 out of the 7 people believed to be missing after an explosion at a fireworks facility Tuesday in Esparto are speaking up.
And I'm just praying to God that they're alive, that maybe they just need medical attention, that, maybe they're stuck, maybe they're stranded without able to communicate for help.
She's worried her boyfriend and his 2 brothers might be stuck under debris or shrapnel from the explosions. But due to the circumstances, first responders are using drones to assess the area. They say it's too risky to get close right now.
An incident like this is like a once in a career type of incident, and in the reality, there's nothing that we could have gotten close enough to. The risk is too high at a facility like this.
You should have brought that situation up first, the 7 unaccounted for, the people who were stuck in the warehouse. That should have been the first piece of information that you have released.
Loved ones pushed back at the press conference after there wasn't any specifics mentioned about the 7 people unaccounted for.
That you guys are more worried about the civilians and the materials and the people moving in and re-energizing the houses or whatever the situation may be, but you guys aren't worried about the possible dead bodies, the possible
that's a big concern of
people
us. We want to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, this is an all-around complex situation. Emotions are high, temperatures are high. Crews are still working on making sure all of the spot fires are out. I also learned at the press conference that 2 people were taken to the hospital yesterday after that initial explosion, but they are now okay. It's unclear who they are or what the extent of their injuries are.
Oh, we can understand those family members' frustrations. We've been asking those questions since yesterday as well. But what was going on in there? Who could be in there? Kayla, you've been talking with family members. What else did you learn from them?
Yeah, well, that young woman that you heard from in my story, she tells me that she's pregnant with one of the missing man's baby, and that he was there going to work with his 2 brothers. And in fact, yesterday was his first day of work. So she is feeling extremely confused. She's feeling left in the dark. The father of the 3 men, the brothers, he's also very frustrated, feeling like there's much more that can be done. Meanwhile, law enforcement says that they are gathering more information, and they're expecting to have another press conference sometime tonight. So hopefully we will learn some more new information then.
Yeah, no, the trauma the day after turns to the human loss as well. Kayla, thank you live in Esparto.
And it's been now almost 24 hours since that blast. Physically and emotionally, it just shook the town of Esparto.
And tonight that community is pulling together. Let's get more from your reporter, Tori Obadaka, live with how neighbors are doing. Tori, what are they saying?
Tony, Marley, really just unprecedented situation. They're still reeling from what happened. Right now, we are at Cadena Farm, which is about less than half a mile away from where those explosions happened. We have permission from the property owner to be here. You can see that his front window was blasted off from the intensity of them, now boarded up, but the community already coming together. A big boom sending off these dark clouds of smoke, fire, and debris flying. The person taking this video unable to even stand still, as explosion after explosion from the nearby fireworks facility literally shook the tiny town of Esparto. The blasts sparking fires on the ground, engulfing nearby houses.
The shockwave was what really alarming, It damn near knocked the wind out of me and almost pushed me to the ground almost. It was really overwhelming.
Stephen Gordon was working in his garden at Cadena Farms, less than half a mile away from where the blasts were popping off, blowing out his front window, shutting off his water and power.
That's when I saw the trees start to move. Didn't really know what was going on at first, thought it was something, could have been something worse, to be honest. But yeah, once you saw the plume and then just like the kind of chaos afterwards, yeah, it's been kind of like that ever since, I guess.
My husband works graveyard, so he was asleep and I was in the kitchen, and it felt like a bomb went off. It felt like something crashed into the house or something blew up, or, well, something did blow up. We didn't know what it was.
Liz Steiner and her husband live about 3 miles away from the facility and say the explosions damaged some of the stucco on their walls.
It was terrifying. And then the explosions continued. They kept going off in big ones and small ones, and we could see the fireworks exploding from our house. So it was actually kind of comforting knowing what it was.
How do you think the community is coming together already, what you've seen in these first hours?
People out here definitely come together when they need to. This was no different for sure.
And that's really what we heard today. Just so many people in this community calling each other, checking in on loved ones to make sure that everyone is accounted for. Of course, though, we still don't know a lot about what really happened out there, and they are still waiting for more answers.
Yeah, pretty vivid accounts you got out there, Tori, and that one woman was right. Not just one blast, but you were waiting for the others to go off as well. Kind of like aftershocks after an earthquake. All right, Tori, thank you for that angle of the story. We'll continue our team coverage now, getting answers on the investigation.
Your reporter Madison Keevy digging into the property that's involved in all this. Madison, what can you tell us?
Marley, Devastating Pyrotechnics is the name of this business. We learned that today when a group of cities and counties put out a statement that their fireworks shows for the 4th of July would likely need to be reassessed because the fireworks they were going to use were being stored in this warehouse here in Esparto. And they named that business, saying that they worked with employees, many of these using this company for year after year for these types of events, and saying they're thinking of the employees and the impact to this business. Now, in doing some digging, we did find state records that this business is up to speed and has an active fireworks license, as well as an active license to import and export fireworks, and also to have public displays, which means what they were doing was legal. But what we don't know here is how they were stored and what visits from fire officials in this area that have been out to this warehouse, they say numerous times. We don't know what came from those. They wouldn't share if there were any citations or concerns about the facility itself. And they also would not say the last time this facility was checked, only that they knew it was here and they'd been out to check on it here. So we took some of our questions to a fireworks expert to get a better understanding of what was supposed to be and the rules that are in place on how to run these types of facilities.
The industry has done a lot of work in developing best practices and standards. So you also have groups like the APA, which is an industry group that, develops standards and practices. And all of these groups work together. It's a very well thought out, very well organized network.
I've been looking into state documents and court records to get a better understanding of how this business fits into the landscape where it sits. There's a different business owner than the land that the warehouse, as well as a couple other of these buildings that were out there, those commercial buildings, two different owners. We've contacted them and have yet to hear back. Some of those unanswered questions we've taken to the business owner as well as the land and property owner, and are still waiting to get those answers or any kind of statement from them tonight.
Madison, I want to circle back real quickly to the missing where we began this broadcast, because you were there last night, one of the first on the scene, and to our knowledge, you were not told anything about missing people last night, correct?
Tony, we asked, and officials said that they couldn't comment. In fact, one answer was no comment. And at the same time as we're hearing that from officials, we walked back to our car in the parking lot near where that press conference was happening. And I actually talked to the family that Kayla spoke to today and helped them through those first moments of grief. So it was two totally different stories. And then we took that back to officials, and they still would not answer specifics today on if even those three brothers were inside, even after the family said they were.
Yeah, I just think the delay is adding to the frustration and the sorrow, right?
Sure. I mean, they're grieving and they want to know what's going on. All right, Madison, thank you for that live report.